Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a Neuvillette the Listener by me. So let's get into it. The gentle pitter-patter of rain against the windows of the Palamarmonia was a familiar sound, comforting in its steadiness. The grand building was quiet, the usual bustle of activity having subsided as the day neared its end. You had been waiting for Neuvillette in his chambers, your heart warmed by the thought of seeing him after a long day. As the Chief Justice of Fontaine, his duties often kept him late, and the time you spent together was precious. Tonight, however, you felt a strange pull, an unexplainable urge to find him instead of waiting for him to return. Perhaps it was the deepening rain that concerned you about him and brought you to seek him out. You walked through the corridors, your footsteps echoing softly against the polished marble floors. As you neared his private study, you noticed a heavy wooden door slightly ajar, the faint glow of candlelight spilling out into the hallway. Curiosity piqued, and you pushed the door open gently, expecting to see Neuvillette engrossed in paperwork, or perhaps lost in thought by the window. Instead, you were met with a sight that made your breath catch in your throat. The room was bathed in a soft ethereal light, and in the center of it was Neuvillette. Yet not Neuvillette as you knew him. No, he looked different. His tall, elegant form had shifted into something otherworldly, something ancient and powerful. His body was covered in smooth, iridescent scales, shimmering in hues of blue and silver. His long, flowing hair had merged seamlessly with his draconic form, and a pair of magnificent wings stretched out behind him, their edges sharp and gleaming. But it was his eyes, those familiar, kind eyes, that truly unnerved you. They were still the same deep, soulful indigo, yet now they held an intensity, a depth that was almost too overwhelming for anyone to bear. A gasp escaped your lips before you could stop it. A Neuvillette's head snapped towards you, his dragon form towering over you in the dim light, his eyes widening in surprise, quickly followed by a flicker of something you couldn't quite place. Fear, perhaps? Oyon. His voice, though still recognizable, was deeper, more resonant in this form. It reverberated through the room, sending a shiver down your spine. You took an involuntary step back, your heart pounding in your chest. The sight before you was so far removed from the composed, gentle man that you had come to know and love. This was something out of a legend, something you had only heard whispered about in old tales. Neuvillette? Your voice trembled, the question hanging in the air. His expression softened and he took a step towards you, his movements graceful despite his massive form. Please, do not be afraid, he said, his voice laced with concern. But you were afraid, though not of him, at least not entirely. It was this unknown part of him that you'd never seen. I don't understand. Neuvillette paused, his expression a little bit pained. I'm sorry, Wyon. I never wanted you to see me like this. At least, Not until I was ready to tell you or show you this form. You swallowed hard, trying to steady your breathing. But why? Why did you hide it from me? He lowered his gaze, his wings drooping slightly as if weighed down by his own guilt. I did not want to burden you with my truth. My past and my true nature is not something easily understood. I feared revealing it might have driven you away. He felt a pang of sadness at his words. How long had he carried this fear? How long had he kept this secret from you? Afraid of what it might mean for your relationship. I don't know what to say. This is a lot to take in. I understand, he said softly. He took another step towards you, his form beginning to shift back to his human appearance. The scales receded, the wings folded back into his body, and soon he looked just the same as before. He reached out to you hesitantly, his hand hovering just above your arm. I never wanted to frighten you, but please, know that I'm still me, still the same person who loves you more than anything in this world. He looked up into his eyes, those same eyes that had always looked at you with such tenderness and unwavering devotion, and the fear that had gripped your heart slowly began to loosen its hold. Tentatively, you reached out and took his hand, intertwining your fingers with his. I was scared. Not of you, but of losing you. I thought that there weren't any secrets between us. He held your hand, squeezing it. I know, my dear, and I understand. And I promise I will explain everything about my past and why I kept it hidden. But for now, please, believe that my feelings for you have never changed. You are my light, Wyan, my anchor in this world. I believe you, he whispered softly, stepping closer to him. But I want to understand, Neuvillette. I want to know all of you, not just the parts that you think I can handle. His eyes softened, and he cupped your cheek with his free hand. And for that, I am eternally grateful. Thank you for accepting me, even when I did not have the courage to show you my true self. We'll figure it out together then. Don't you worry. Just no more secrets, okay? Neuvillette nodded, a look of determination in his eyes. No more secrets, he promised, and that was all you needed. For you would love him, and you'd do your best to understand.